Hello, 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 and welcome to the party. This video is Hatter's Raving Reviews. The first on the list is Frozen. A highly popular film. In fact, I would argue that it's overly popular. I'm not saying it's not a great film. It's well, you can't really deny that it is a good film. But it's not like there aren't better films out than better films that seem to be less popular, like Wall-E, which with hardly any speech, and yet portrayed so much emotion in it, and yet with Frozen, everywhere you went, it was let it go, let it go. But in fact, it was such success that but one of the problems I had with it wasn't that it was a bad film, but the trailer was short purely about the comic relief, which is a bit misleading. And of course, it was so popular that they made a massive short before Cinderella. Yes, and the trailer for Cinderella consisted of Frozen Fever. Come and see the short Frozen Fever. Frozen Fever is coming soon to cinema near you. Frozen Fever is going to be great. You're going to love it. This is a short, and right at the end, boom, only available by seeing Cinderella. But at least Frozen Fever lived up to the trailer. But so anyway, Cinderella. Cinderella was obviously that Disney knew that Cinderella wasn't going to be that so much of a success, so they basically drew people in because they knew that they'd draw a big crowd thanks to Frozen. But Cinderella wasn't a bad film, but it wasn't exactly impressive either. The Jurassic World, that I really enjoyed. It in some way, it almost was better than the first one, except that not because with such great effects, and I loved all the references to the first movie. Of course, it's not quite as good as the first film, purely on the basis that the first film has the originality factor. But and then now let's move on to a film that I was eagerly awaiting, the Minions movie. Like ever since the moment I heard about it, I had a strong suspicion. I thought that had high potential, although I was worried that it was going to be one of those films that like the Simpsons movie, where they give up a lot of hype, and yet it proved somewhat disappointing. But they lived up to the potential. It was so very much the case of the Minions, with every moment packed as much of it in as they can of the Minions, rather than just a long stretched out story. Now for Hotel Transylvania. Since it was Halloween, I decided to go see Hotel Transylvania with a couple of friends. the second one, that is, at the cinema. So I bought the first one on DVD, which I liked, but wasn't the overly. I felt it had a bit of a slow start, but the second one was really awesome. I think it's probably the first one. Probably the problem I had with the first one is it was so much of a. Well, I don't want to wish to create the impression that it was clearly just a love story, since it did have some good comedy and some nice action in it. But it was mainly about the romance between the budding romance between the Dracula's daughter and of course the humans, the much hated humans that the monsters feared. But I wasn't sure what the sequel was going to be about. I kind of expect, like in the trailers it showed about the baby, but I wasn't expecting it to be. I thought there was going to be an extra in there, not just pretty much the basis, but it worked around it. Managed to create a strong story around the baby, with about the strength of about how the half monster seemed to be entirely human, and with a good old Drac trying to bring out the monster in him. But I'd say that was a really awesome film. I thought. I'd say that the Minions movie was better. Was better, but it was still, but still, it was a film. It's still a film worth watching, especially as a Halloween film. Anyway, I'm not sure how many of these reviews I will do. I'm open to suggestions and things to. If you want me to review old movies or new movies, books. I'm not going to review games, because games are something I plan to be playing rather than reviewing. So any reviews, if I was to give a review, I'm likely to do it while I'm playing the games now. But if you want to know my views on certain books or films, I'll give it explicit forward, and just note down in the comments below. You know, the little boxy thing. Just tap on the keyboard, click on the post button. I'll be curious to know what suggestions you ask me to review on. But I won't guarantee I will check them out, but I'll definitely consider any recommendations. And if I've seen it already, I'll probably go back and rewatch it. I was thinking next time I want to get round. I might try and get round to watching the, what is it called? I should remember it, but my memory is shot right now. The one with the people and the dragons and the frost zombies. Game of Thrones, that was it. Yes, that should have stayed up in my mind better than it was. But I've been high on my viewing list to watch it. I just haven't gone round yet, and I was thinking of reviewing that. And I'm open to other suggestions from you to review. So if you can let me know what you'd like me to review. And remember, we're all a little mad.